Alright, hello, my name is Mackie and welcome to my little bit of review about the play-ins, the World Qualifying Stage, and of course my reaction to the draw show. Now, I am recording this on the 15th of October, which means I'm probably going to upload it around this week, and maybe we'll do like a little bit of team preview, of course, or maybe note, and maybe like the team preview is going to be too long, of course. Probably know the teams and all that kind of stuff, so yeah, I think we should dive right in. So let me just say it first. Let me just list the most disappointing North American things that have happened this year. You have the walkouts, you have like the disappointing performances from North America by every other streamer across the sun. If you think that all of these things are disappointing, take a look at Golden Guardians matchup against BDS in the World Qualifying Stage. This is the epitome of disappointment. Like, guys, I have seen mid-jungle synergies this bad, but I have never seen a mid-jungle synergy that does nothing. Absolutely nothing. River and Gory should never be on the same team for the next season. Listen, River and Gory were the reasons why Golden Guardians never got that far in the LCS, and they should have been in the Switch stage. They should have been in the play-ins. They should have been anywhere. They let it down. The whole synergy let it down. Stixay, Huni, and Licorice were probably the only three good performers the entire time, and that's pretty much it. Your mid-jungle synergy did not do nothing in this game. How did they do nothing? Well, they did not do nothing in the first game. 0-7 and 2 combined, while like Shio and Nuke had like 6 kills to 13 assists. Nuke was impressive in that Oriana game, of course, in the game 1. And then game 2, they did something, of course. They got a few kills. River, especially on that Belbed with 2 kills. 2, 3, 1, of course, they did fine. But they've really fall apart at that time. Crowny was picking up the kills. Nuke was once again an absolute beat. And Adam, my God, Adam picked the absolute craziest time to pick Garen in the top lane. Like, I already did my preview that I said that he could only play 2 champions, and I never thought that Garen could be his third. Okay, so it surprised me, it surprised a lot of people, but here we are. I think he'd taken care of that pretty handily. 5-4 and 2, he did absolutely well, neutralizing Licorice from the top lane, and then game 3 was an absolute stump. Oh my, listen, let me just read you the scores. Let me just read you the scores of the top of the 3 players. Licorice, River, and Gory. 0-5-0, 0-0-0, 0-4-0, 0-5-0, 0-0-0, 0-4-0. Combined 0-9 and 0 between those 3 players. River did nothing in that game 3. He did absolutely gigantic piece of nothing in that game 3. Nothing in the game that you needed to win, in the game that you needed to keep your season alive. You did absolutely nothing. While Shio's one play, if I remember correctly, he Hex Tech Flash through the Baron spawn, take up a red buff, cross across the top lane, and get like a kill, of course, with the ignite by Adam, of course, who also played Garen. It was fantastic, of course. At least Shio did something. River did nothing in this game. River did nothing. When was the last time I see a player who did nothing in a crucial game, in any game? Nothing until this point. This is incredible. Listen. Normally I will have to say, well, Golden Guardians did well, of course. Golden Guardians did well, of course, to make it this far, to deserve some praise. And I said, no, this should not be in this situation. They should be in the Swiss stage, relaxing, waiting to see which team gets drawn through. But no, they have to fumble around, losing some games they should have lost, and now they lost to BDS, a team that did not look great post-spring, and they got what they deserved. They got what they absolutely deserve. A whole bunch of nothing from the mid-jungle synergy. So here's the thing. I do not want to see these 2 guys ever again. I do not want to see these 2 guys. You either sack Gory, you either sack River, or you sack both. You can't have these 2 guys again. It is costing you guys. It costs you guys a chance of a championship. It costs you guys a chance of a Swiss stage on Worlds. It costs you literally everything right now. And I felt bad for the players, of course. I felt bad for Licorice, who performed so well in this. He won all the performing player. I felt bad for who he was, a first team All-Pro. And to see like the mid-jungle synergy letting you down in a crucial game like this, it's horrible. Now, I already roasted Golden Guardians. Now I'm going to do BDS. BDS, hats off. You deserve it. It's a credible win. I know it's not the prettiest performance. It wasn't that best performance by all to say, but listen, against a team that, many people thought that they are good enough and compete with it, and you managed to take advantages of their mishaps and all the kind of stuff, it's pretty much admirable for me. So I think BDS deserved that win, even though it was kind of like a little sus by Golden Guardian standards. So let's just go to the play-ins right now, and we're going to do this based on groups. So we're going to do Group A, and then Group B, and then we're going to do some my thoughts about some of the teams, of course, and some of the matches. And then, of course, we'll get to the knockout stage. And oh my god, these knockout stages were crazy. So let's just go to Group A first. So Group A will have PSG Talon, GAM Esports, Loud, and Rainbow 7. PSG easily 1-2-0 thing against both Rainbow 7 and Loud. And then you got like Rainbow 7 did absolutely nothing. I was kind of disappointed on Rainbow 7 because I think Rainbow 7 should do something about it. But the fact you haven't won a game, it's disappointed. The fact you didn't win a game against GAM, the team that you beat in MSI, was also disappointed as well. So it feels horrible. It feels absolutely horrible for them. GAM Esports it was pretty interesting. So they lost the first game to Loud. Loud was impressive in that first game. And then the rematch, of course, they beat them in that second game, of course. I think, let me just see which game I can remember. Oh, right. This is the game with Kati going absolutely mental on Victor. I guess progress is completed, I guess. 9-2-11 on that Victor was impressive, of course. Slater did also impressive on Kaiser. As usual, 10 kills to 2-9. Loud did not do nothing. Game 2, it was, I'm not saying the same, but Levi did like 12 assists. And Slater, once again, was a performance. I think I gotta say that Slater is my MVP, even though that's a little too easy because he only played like two of the most meta champions in Kaiser and Zaya, but he did well to perform well in crucial situations, and he did well. Loud did virtually nothing in that second game, of course, to render mute. So it almost feels like, yeah, GAM got the revenge, and now they make it through. And of course, good for them. I was worried about GAM, of course. Everybody was thinking that if GAM does not make it through, I think it might be the end of Vietnam domination, as we all know it. But in a surprising twist, GAM was not the best performing team in Vietnam to perform well at Worlds. It was actually Team Wells. And here's why. Because they went and done it, my god. They went and absolutely done it. First game against BDS in that Group B matchup, which by the way contains CTPC Flying Oyster, Defamation Focus Me, Team BDS, and Team Wells. So let's just get to it. BDS versus Team Wells, it was ugly. The first game was absolutely ugly. 24 minutes, close to it. Adam, of course, he played Darius, so expect him to just destroy everyone. 8-0-4. He set a record for his best performance on Darius. I don't know how, but 214 CS, that was that was brutal, of course. And you're thinking to yourself, okay, BDS is totally going to smash Team Wells, right? BDS is totally going to smash Team Wells. 2-0 easily, and then they effed around. They effed around, and they found out that Team Wells got hands. Team Wells got absolute hands. Second game, they lost 39 minutes close to it. Artemis was a beast, especially on Kaiser, 11-0-8. Like, damn, he was amazing in that game too. Game 2, he was amazing. I think he was amazing. He was probably my best player of the entire series. Game 3 was also the same. It was Artemis once again destroying them. It took them 41 minutes, but once again, Artemis destroyed the whole team. Did not do much. 5-0-5, but Sparta was an absolute giga chat on that Cassante. 6-0-7. Adam did not do nothing with Renekton. In fact, he did not do nothing with that one. And BDS loses to Team Wells. I cannot believe it. They absolutely fumbled the bag after that dominant game one. And I was worried. Listen, all of Europe should be worried about this because if you're a Team BDS or if you're a European fan in general, this is the worrying part. I mean, losing to Team Wells, the second best team of Vietnam, has to feel like a cold sweat in the night sleeping through. It's just not looking good, man. It's just not looking good for them. But of course, they will turn it around. They'll turn it around, of course, in the next couple of games. And of course, they did beat, DFM and CTBC Flying Oyster to make it through. Clean 2-0s, although not the prettiest clean 2-0s. DFM was a clean 2-0, but the CTBC Flying Oyster was not the prettiest 2-0. Adam playing set in that top lane. All right, then. Okay, Adam can do whatever he wants, I guess. 42 minutes, it was not the prettiest, I guess, but got the win as well. And then 28 minutes, it got the good win as well. So, yeah, BDS did not do well. It was not the prettiest way to get through, but listen, wins are wins because in Worlds these days. So, you got to take them when you can. I'm going to talk about DFM for a minute. Let me just look for DFM for a minute. Yeah, let's just talk about DFM. Listen, DFM went through a lot. Like, literally a lot. They had the Toll 2 incident, of course. Utapin had to switch from bot lane duties to do top lane. DFM is a mess. DFM is an absolute mess. And listen, I'm going to say these words and I'm never going to say this, that I think DFM's time is up. I think DFM's domination in the LJL time is up. And I will not be shocked if any team other than them can win this. Because listen, the last team to ever win LJL other than DFM was V3. And V3 did nothing the world stage. That was in 2020, by the way. And then they did nothing throughout the rest of their lives. They went on a big losing streak. And then DFM went on to win another couple of titles. So the worrying part about this is that I feel like LJL doesn't have that much competition when you look look at like Vietnam and like Europe and maybe even like CB Law for some, they don't have the competition. They don't have like any other team other than DFM to dominate. And this is the what do you expect, you know? DFM 2-0 win, got 2-0 by both teams, by CTBC, Flying North, and BDS. And I feel like right now, DFM and probably the rest of LJL have a lot of thinking to do. Speaking of Team Wells, they've done it again. They absolutely done it again. Turn around the 2-1 series against CTBC Flying North, losing in game 1, and then coming back and winning game 2. Let me just give you the details. So CTBC Flying North win the first game. Rest was impressive on that, you know, NAR 6-0-4. Shun was also impressive 7-2-1. The whole team the whole team Wells did not do nothing in that series. And then game 2 and 3 were turnarounds. My God, they were turnarounds. Sparta 3-1-7. Artemis once again at Desire 4-0-4. BJ with that Jarvan 4-2-7 was impressive, of course. Won game 2 dominantly in 30 minutes, and then turn around and then won game 3 by 36 minutes with Rest with I think 3 kills. He did not do much. Gemini with the bye, 5 kills, did not do much. But look at Glory, 10-4-10 on Oriana. My God, that's a mid lane performance when I see one. That was an impressive mid lane performance by Glory. Once again, Team Wells turn it around and they become the first ever team to ever make it, which lead us to the knockouts, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to go into the knockouts that were just recorded this morning or right around last night, of course. So let's get to the knockouts right now. So the knockouts is going to be like an all Vietnamese matchup between Gam versus Team Wells. Insert Robin Williams good morning Vietnam meme right there. And you know, Gam Esports won game 1, and then you know Team Wells turn around and win game 2, and I was thinking to myself, Team Wells might do it again. Team Wells might do it again. But unfortunately for Gam tell Team Wells, their little brother, and sell into themselves, Gam Esports. Not this time. Not this time. Team Wells are the better team. Team Wells are the... No, wait. No. Gam on the better team. Gam on the better team right now. Gam just tell Team Wells, no. We are the better Vietnam's team. We are the better Vietnam team. We're going to show you we're the better Vietnam team. And that's what they did in game 2 and game 3. They stomp on them in those times. Let me just look at game 3. I think this is game 3. Yeah, this is game 3. This is game 3. This is when they beat them in 33 minutes. Kaya was impressive. Slater 7-2-7 on Saya. Again, of course, Saya's a little OP, of course. And then game 4, domination from the game 4, almost 28 minutes. BJ did something on Lee Sin, but it was, of course, a Slater show again with that Kaiser. So he got like 2 of the most meta champions in AD carry and dominated themselves in 1. So not surprising. Gam with a better Vietnam team over Team Wells. They make it through and they make it to the Swiss stage. And then we get to BDS versus PSG Talon. My, oh my, this game was absolutely nothing. So let's get to game 1. Let's get to game 1 first. 34 minutes. BDS did nothing. BDS did absolutely nothing that game. Adam, Shio, Nuke combined to go 0-8 and 5 in the lane. They did absolutely nothing in that game. And Maple was an absolute beast on that Jace. Yeah, 4-1-5. Waco did well on Kaiser, of course, 5-1-2. BDS got absolutely clapped about 34 minutes, and you're thinking to yourself, it could have gotten worse, Hakeem. Surely it could not get worse, right? Right? It got worse. It got absolutely worse. 28 minutes stomping by PSG Talon. Adam did nothing. Shio did nothing. Like, Crowny did something, but of course, Maple once again dominated the game, and he did it on Akali. 9-0-4. 9-0-4 on Akali. Maple, the former Flash is doing it again to another bigger team. And listen, I was watching the highlights at that time, but at that moment, you're thinking to yourself, if you are a European fan, no, please, no, do not do this. So, let me just tell you prior to this matchup before we get to game 3. Only 2 teams in the history of worlds have ever turned around a 2-0 deficit into making a reverse sweep. Top Esports over Fnatic in the 2021 Worlds, and DRX over BDS over EDG in last year's Worlds. So at that moment, you're thinking to yourself, there is no way BDS can turn this around. There is absolutely no way BDS can turn this around. Oh, they need something. They need a huge miracle in order to do this. And the miracle starts with winning game 3. And they did. 41 minutes, not that easy one with Adam. Of course, he can play Olaf as usual. 8-2-7. Nuke impressive. 8-5-14. So 2 impressive performances by Adam and Nuke. Winning that game, of course. It was not pretty, but here we are. Like 40 minutes. Big win for them. Turn around. That was game 3. On to game 4. 27 minutes stumping. Like the whole PSG Talon team did nothing. Adam once again was a big kicker champ on Garen. Pull out the Garen again. Crowning, of course, 13 kills on a Kaiser as usual. 13 kills. Count them 13. Amazing. And he was a big reason, of course, this team was well. And then we get to game 5, and boy, oh boy, it was nervy. It was an absolutely nerve-wracking game 5, and it was a pretty nervy game 5, of course. And then, lo and behold, it was a topsy-turvy matchup, 44 minutes, but my God, BDS have done it. First ever European teams have ever done the reverse sweep. And let me just tell you the details. I mean, listen, Maple did something. It was a 44-minute game, but Maple did something. It was a tight game. It was a really, really tight game. But Nuke, my God, on that Tristana. This time on the Tristana, 6-2-4, really helping up. Adam did fine, I guess, but it was Nuke. It was Nuke coming on clutch. Really clutch, of course, with his team. I think I will give Nuke the MVP of this series because I feel like he was the catalyst for like game 3. Of course, when they make that big turnaround. Game 3 was a huge turnaround for him with a Nuke, especially against that Maple Silas. Of course, Silas was a huge deal. And then game 4, of course, he was huge at that Nuke, was huge at that Cassiopean. Yeah, he was huge on Cassiopean, of course. Cass was huge. And in game 5 in a matchup like this, he did well at Nuke. So I give Nuke the MVP of that series. So my God, what a turnaround for BDS. What an absolute turnaround from BDS to come from 2-0 down and everybody in Europe feeling like absolute cold sweat and feel like they just wanted to die to like turn around to 3-2. And now here they are in the Swiss stage and they will join the likes of GAM and all the big name teams, of course. So with everything being done in the play-ins, it's now time for the Swiss stage. And oh boy, there are some tasty matches we're going to look at the Swiss stage. Let's just look for it, shall we? So let's look at the Swiss stage. Let's look at the absolute atrocity that is the Swiss stage, or like the beauty of the Swiss stage, of course. So first matchup, right off the bat, T1 versus Team Liquid. Good luck, Yoshi. You're not going to beat Faker twice. Yeah, I'm going to say this right now. This is a pretty tough matchup for APA, of course, against the god of Faker. Listen, I know Faker's not the same player, of course, for the last couple of years, but listen, it's still Faker. It's still the best player, of course, in the world. You're going to have to face him. It's going to be tough for him. Next up is North America versus Europe with Cloud9 versus Mad Lions. That's always a tricky matchup. Niski, former Cloud9 member, playing against Mad Lions. Pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. Of course, Mad Lions want a revenge against North America for, of course, knocking them out, of course, last year. So, of course, against Cloud9. I am not impressed with Cloud9, of course, throughout the entire year. Mad Lions are kind of like a streaky team. They can be so good sometimes when they doubt it, but of course, when it comes to like, when they're the favorites and all kind of stuff, they got crumbled, of course. So I'm hoping they can, buckle them down and, of course, face up against a defeat Cloud9 team. Then, of course, you got Gen G versus GAM Esports. I mean, good luck. Yes, I know Gen G has not been great in international performances, but listen, they cannot lose to Vietnam like that. They cannot lose to Vietnam, especially in the best of 1 game. So I think, this is a pretty much a good matchup for Gen G, for like Doran and Chovy and Pays, of course, for them. Gets a might of the GAM Esports, but of course, this is best of 1. You never know. You just never know. And then BDS, your reward for pulling off a best of 5 reverse sweep for the first time ever is a matchup against JDG. Welcome to hell, I guess. Yeah, they're facing up against JDG. Not an easy matchup. 5 of the best players, and then of course it's a tough matchup. It's gonna be it's always gonna be a tough matchup when you face against JDG. Do I believe they can beat them? No. Do I believe they have a chance? No. That is what it is. Moving on. G2 versus D plus Kia. Yeah, D plus Kia. This is now the 4th time in the last 5 years that G2 has faced Dam1 Cayman / Dam1 Kia / D plus Kia. So they face like 3 iterations of the Dam1 D plus era, of course. And of course, Cannon and Showmaker, always a staple. And now you got the face-up, and then it's Showmaker versus Caps again. A matchup that's pretty much interesting. I feel like I'm interested with this matchup. We want to see, can G2 actually stand up against Depth and the mightiness of the D plus Kia team. That's also a treason matchup. NRG versus Weibo. It's a pretty iffy matchup to me. These are 2 iffy teams. NRG are good, but can they face up against Weibo with some veteran teams? But Weibo has been inconsistent. I think it'll be a really tough matchup. Fnatic versus LNG. I think you'll see, okay, Fnatic is not looking sharp. Remember, of course, they have a substitute top laner in Wonder, of course, throughout the matchup. So we don't know what Fnatic's team will be 100%. Maybe Oscarin will come in, but listen, LNG is a tough team, all right? They took JDG to the waters both times. I think they're a tough team. Scout is an MVP. Gala's incredible. Zika's dominated. I think they're a good team, and I feel like, they can knock down Fnatic. And of course, the most interesting matchup is KT versus BLG. Both teams underperform. Both teams have a chance to probably win titles, although BLG facing against JDG was a really tough matchup, of course. KT roster, they should have won the whole thing. They could have been like in like pool 1, of course, maybe facing up against some of the teams, but here we are, pool 3 against a really interesting BLG team. And listen, that is a tough matchup. That is a tough matchup. So 3 of the most interesting matchups I'm going to look forward to is going to be G2 versus D+, BLG versus KT, City, and I'm just gonna throw maybe Cloud9 Man Lions. Those are my 3 interesting matches of Swiss stage. So all these matches will take place on the 19th of October, and they will play like all these matches, like I don't know, 6 hours of League of Legends. So you probably got like 6 hours of League of matches in like one day. But congratulations, your Eastern time sleep zone is gonna be absolutely new. And then of course you got another couple of matches here, they got another couple of matches there. They took a couple of days off, and then we got the last couple of matches, all best of 3s, mind you. And of course that's it. So that's just the Swiss stage, and that's of course the Swiss stage draw, all the matches of course. And yeah, that should be doing it. So thank you everybody for listening and everybody for watching. We will see you all for the Swiss stage of course, and happy Worlds everybody. Ciao, ciao my friends.